Grüß euch Leute, herzlich willkommen zurück bei Let's Play des Stanley Parable. Wir sind wieder zurück und ich hoffe, mein Mikrofon hört sich jetzt besser an als im ersten Part. Da habe ich mich ein bisschen sehr angehört.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Ja, das letzte Mal haben wir dem Typen geglaubt oder haben wir das gemacht, was er gesagt hat. Aber dieses Mal schalten wir an.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Ja,
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
Alter, leck
It's
mich.
your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going. What all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not?
Oh,
These are
danke.
precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley?
Ich dachte, man muss
Is it
eine
that you have
3...
no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever after.
Okay. Das heißt, wir können auch sterben in diesem Spiel. Und das war jetzt eins der Enden, kann das sein? So, keine Ahnung. Das Ende, wo Bombenstimmung ist. Ja, ich habe mich schon klein wenig belesen. Es gibt 18 verschiedene Enden und ich glaube, ich habe jetzt 2 davon gesehen. Einmal das normale und jetzt das, was gerade passiert ist. Finde ich sehr geil. Und ja, ich denke, wenn wir jetzt geloadet haben, kommen wir wieder am Anfang raus, oder? Ja. Sehr gut.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ich frage mich gerade, wo wir noch hingehen können. Wir können ja mal einfach probieren, hier rechts zu gehen.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oder? Ja, gehen wir mal hier rechts lang.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh, der Pausenraum. 4,50, okay.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Herrlich. Ja, so. Das war's
But
schon.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Da geht's auch weiter. Okay.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Ja, aber hier ist so verführerisch. Hier gibt's so einen... so einen Knopf, der mit einem Aufzug nach unten fährt, aber okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ich habe ganz am Ende noch etwas, was ich nicht gemacht habe. Keine Ahnung. Aber da stand ganz am Ende stand Escape, also ich werde mir das vielleicht für später aufheben, wenn da wirklich was Escape-artiges kommt. Rip Franz. Wer ist Franz? Ich versuche hier mal alles ein bisschen anzuklicken. Vielleicht kann man hier sogar irgendwas machen. Würde mich nicht wundern, wenn man hier doch irgendwie was machen könnte. Mit dem Kopierer oder mit den Schränken. Mit den Sesseln, mit dem Kaffee, mit irgendwas. Kann ich die Tür vielleicht wieder öffnen? Nee. Broom Closet. Hup. Das wollte ich nicht. Oh, ich kann das auf und zu machen. Okay, kann ich hier auch rein? Ja, ich kann
Stanley
hier
stepped
rein.
into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay. Gibt's hier echt nichts? Das möchte ich mal anschauen, weil...
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Das glaube ich dir irgendwie nicht. Sekunde, ich drehe mal die Lautstärke ein bisschen lauter, ich glaube. Ah nee, scheiße. Keine Ahnung. Ich will den Sprecher eigentlich lauter haben, egal.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet.
Hier gibt's
He
was.
wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Okay, das mache ich mal. Mach jetzt zu und tu jetzt mal gar nichts. Ich schau mal, vielleicht sagt er irgendwas dazu, wenn
Are
wirklich...
you really still in the broom closet? Standing
Ja.
around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Du sagst was, also denke ich, es geht weiter, wenn ich nichts tue. Das ist meine Erklärung.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Okay. Hast du noch was zu sagen,
Maybe
oder?
to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Das Besenkammer-Ende hört sich gut an. Vielleicht gibt's das hier sogar.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Okay, jetzt wäre mal ein bisschen persönlich. Kann das sein, mein lieber
Well,
Erzähler?
I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead.
Was?
You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Alter, das Spiel ist so geil. Ich mache jetzt noch, keine Ahnung, noch so 10 Sekunden nichts. Und falls er dann nichts mehr sagt, dann denke ich, das haben wir hier. Schaut aber ganz gut aus. Er sagt nichts mehr. Gut, dann gehen wir raus. Ich möchte jetzt nicht. Vielleicht sagt er irgendwas, wenn ich jetzt wirklich...
Second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nein. Runter. Oh, das schaut schon ein bisschen gruselig aus. Kann ich das drücken? Nein. Aber es schaut hier echt ein bisschen creepy aus.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Whoa.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner.
Oh!
Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Oh, das hat nicht funktioniert, denke ich.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Whoa.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Was?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Das war die Frau aus Omsi. What the fuck? Okay, das war ein weiteres Ende. Oh Gott. Das Geilste war immer noch Besenkammer zumachen. Ende.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
What?
What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that.
Was?
Oh, this couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, Very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Okay. Hä? Was war das? War das jetzt so... War das, weil ich die Tür geschlossen habe? Keine Ahnung, ich mach das nicht nochmal. Das ist irgendwie creepy gewesen.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Okay. Was ist das?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay, ich kann hier PCs ausschalten und einschalten wahrscheinlich. Nee, doch nicht. Okay. Oh, hier ist noch so ein Ding. Username Access. Vielleicht gibt es irgendwas, wenn ich hier alle PCs abschalte. Await Input. Input received. Nochmal? Nee. Okay. Input received. Ich denke, hier gibt es noch ein paar Enden, die ein bisschen versteckter
When Stanley
sind.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ich überlege gerade, was es noch gibt für Sachen, die ich noch ausprobieren könnte. Ich gehe mal wieder nach rechts.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Natürlich. Absolut korrekt.
Wow. Yes, this room. What a
Yeah,
beaut, but
yeah.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Hier, nee, das ist nicht die Tür zu machen, aber hier war der Aufzug runter. Aber hier geht es auch noch geradeaus. Ja, es gibt scheinbar doch noch ein paar Sachen, die ich machen kann. Also 5 Stunden kann ich mir zwar immer noch nicht vorstellen, aber langsam, ich meine, wir haben schon fast eine Stunde gespielt. Ich gehe mal da lang. Und ich werde die Parts jetzt doch eher eine halbe als 20 Minuten machen. Also eine halbe Stunde, nicht eine halbe Minute. Caution, do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. Okay.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ja, ist unglaublich. Was ist das hier? Warning. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for misuse, penalty for jumping off the cargo lift. 5000, wenn ich da runterspringe. Okay. Bewegt sich das? Kann ich runterspringen?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the road. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Okay, Alter. Ja, ein weiteres Ende. Jedes Mal, wenn so ein Loading kommt, dann...
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
Nice. Es sind immer andere Sprachen und diesmal werde ich nicht runterspringen, aber allein das, man muss echt alles ausprobieren.
Set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Kann ich vielleicht auch einfach da in der Mitte durchgehen? Nein, das wäre ein bisschen seltsam, aber es hätte sein können. Ja, ja, Stanley wusste es.
Well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just
to admire it.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace? Its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper, something darker.
Ja, weil hier zu ist, deswegen ist hier so dunkel.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nein, ich gehe da lang, weil ich möchte da noch was schauen.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
So, hier kann ich wahrscheinlich, Kann hier vielleicht auch runterspringen. Kann ich da auch irgendwie lebend runterkommen? Ja. Okay, da ist irgendwie noch ein Gang. Ah, kann ich vielleicht hier diese Tür aufmachen? Hier braucht man eine Karte. Können wir eine Schlüsselkarte finden? Das wäre irgendwie cool, wenn ich das jetzt tun könnte. Ich meine, es ist ein Adventure.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Okay, wer ist her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Wer? Unsere Frau? Unsere Freundin? Oder ein Raum? Okay. Das gefällt mir irgendwie nicht. Kann ich hier zumachen? Nein. Shit. Nö.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Ich habe abgenommen. Und jetzt? Was?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Woo!
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Kann ich da auch lang?
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Shit. Fuck. Okay. Alter, ich habe mich da gerade so
This
erschreckt.
is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Was? Nein, nein. Guten Morgen, Alter. Drücken Sie 8 auf deiner drücke 8 auf deiner Tastatur. Ich drücke jetzt mal nicht 8, ich drücke 9. Ich drücke 6, ich drücke 5. Ich drücke halt mal 8.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Okay, ich drücke 7.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Okay, ich drücke 11.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
So, kaum fernzusehen, okay.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Okay, um Zeit mit den Kindern zu verbringen, das war vorher noch nicht da, oder? Oder 0? 0 eher, oder?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Abendessen vorbereiten, okay.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Was für eine Linie und was für ein Spiel mit einem Baby. Habe ich mir da jetzt selber was vorgespoilert, beziehungsweise der Typ mir?
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Frau zu sagen, dass du sie liebst, okay? Ich hasse dich, Alte.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Um morgen früh bei der Arbeit zu sein. Okay, ich tue das mal nicht. Wir sind übrigens mit der Zeit schon über eine halbe Stunde drüber. Es tut mir leid, aber dafür wird vielleicht der nächste Part ein bisschen kürzer. Wobei, der erste war eh kurz, also von daher. Ich möchte aber doch... komm, na komm, mach mal. Das war jetzt fast eine halbe Minute, wo nichts passiert ist. Komm.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Nichts in Frage stellen.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried...
Bitte stirb? What the fuck? Bitte stirb. Okay, das war also ein weiteres Ende, ein sehr verwirrendes. Okay, dann würde ich aber sagen, wir sehen uns das nächste Mal. Es gibt noch einige Sachen, die wir, denke ich mal, tun können. Und eventuell, falls mir nichts mehr einfällt, muss ich dann halt im Internet nachschauen, weil es gibt 18 Enden. Und ich glaube, wir haben jetzt wie viele gesehen? 5 oder 6. Also von daher, und ich bin mir nicht mehr wirklich sicher, was ich noch alles machen soll. Mir fallen keine 12 Sachen mehr ein, die ich noch tun könnte. Egal. Nächste Folge wird auf jeden Fall noch ohne Internet oder irgendwas sein und danach werde ich wahrscheinlich auch mal schauen müssen. Ja, ich würde aber sagen, bis zum nächsten Mal bei Let's Play the Stanley Parable. Bis dahin sage ich Tschüss, Leute.